Nityaṁ naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayet nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu Nityaṁ bhāgavata-sevayā bhagavati uttama-shloke bhaktir bhavati neshtaki durlabhamanasho deho dehinam shanabhangurai tatrapi durlabham manye vaikuntha priyadarshinaho akama sarva kamo va moksha kama udaradi tivrena bhakti yogena yajate purusham param Hare Kṛṣṇa Hare Kṛṣṇa Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namami Damodara Pada Pankajam Karomi Damodara Pujanam Sada Vadami Damodara Nama Nirmalam Smarami Damodara Leela Sundaram Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Hare Krishna, dear worshipful devotees, thank you so much for taking out your time to read, discuss, share Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So, we are at the 24th chapter of Canto 9, and we were reading about I think we read the story of Karna and then the Kunti Maharani and the other sisters of Queen Kunti, and we read till text, I believe, 40 or 39, and then we were discussing about this. The king of Chedi married Shrutasva. So Vishtaketu read till text 30. And yes, Shishupal's story we were discussing. And we were discussing 7.131 also. And then we discussed his childhood, that how Krishna was destined to kill him. But his mother had asked for a boon, that kindly please forgive him 100 times. But Shishupal crossed the limit in the Rajasuya Yajna. And as a result, his Krishna took his darshan and gave him a transcendental punishment, basically liberated him. So we read till text 40, we'll continue from there. 41. Kamsavatyam devarshaha Suviraishu mamstatha Baka kankatu kankayam Satyajit purujit tatha. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Vasudev's brother named Devashrava married Kamsavati, by whom he begot two sons named Suvira and Ishuman. Kanka, by his wife Kanka, begot three sons named Baka, Satyajit and Purujit. So, quite straightforward here. Now we are talking about the descendants of Vasudev's 9 brothers. So, these were the different brothers of Vasudev. So text number 40 onwards is a discussion about Vasudev's brothers. The 9 brothers. Devashrava was one of them. Kanka was one of them. So, okay, let's read the next one. Text 42. Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji. Also, devotees, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Text 42. Syanjayo Rashtra Palayam Cha Vrishadur Marshana Horikesho Hiranyakshu Shura Bhumayamcha Shama Kaha. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. King Srimad by his wife Rastra Palika begot sons headed by Brisha and Durmarshana. King Shamaka by his wife Shorabhumi begot two sons named Horikesha and Hiranyaksha. Back to Guruji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you. So these are the other two brothers, Srinjaya and Shamaka, and their descendants are mentioned. So 43. Anyone wants to read? And then another you want to read?
Can I read the next one, Prabhu, please? Or maybe a couple more.
Oh, sure. Yes, Maswati Mataji, okay.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam everyone. Text 43. Misra Keshwam Apsarasi Vrikadin Vatsakas Tatha Taksha Pushkara Saladin Durvakshayam Vriko Adadhe. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. Thereafter, King Vatsaka, by the womb of his wife Misra Keshi, who was an Apsara, begot sons headed by Vrika. Vrika, by his wife Durvakshi, begot Taksha, Pushkara, Sala, and so on. Back to Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So here about the two other brothers, Vatsaka and Rika, and their dynasties are shared. So these are all 9 different brothers of Vasudev. One more verse, which also explains about the other 2 brothers. So let's read that as well. Kabir Prabhu, want to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Text 44. Sumitra Arjuna Paladin Samikatu Sudhamani Anakha Karnikayam Bhai Rita Dhama Jayab Api. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation. From Shamika, by the womb of his wife Sudhamani, came Shumitra. Arjuna Pala and other sons. King Anaka, by his wife Karnika, begot 2 sons, namely Rita Dhama and Jaya. Hare Krishna Prabhu, back to you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. There is no purport to these verses, but Samika and Anka, the last 2 kings, the brothers of Vasudev. So let's now discuss about the dynasty of Vasudev Maharaj. The text 45 to 55, which we'll study now, they mentioned, and that's the crux for today. So, for someone like to read text 45, you can't go. Okay, this one. Aura Virohini Bhadra Madira Rochana Ila Devaki Pramukhashashan Patnaya Anam Kadundubhe. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. Devaki, Pauravi, Rohini, Bhadra, Madira, Rochana, Ila, and others were all the wives of Anakadundubhi Vasudev. Among them, Devaki was the chief. Hare Kṛṣṇa. So these were the different queens of Vasudev Maharaj. We know about primarily about Devaki and Rohini. Devaki gave the Krishna birth in the jail of Kamsa. We know that in the famous story when Vasudeva and Devaki were going, Kamsa was driving the chariot and all that we have read multiple times. The name of Vasudeva is Anakadundubhi. Anyone knows why his name is Anakadundubhi?
Because when he was born, there was a announcement in the sky.
Yes, what was the announcement? Yes. Anyone knows the announcement? So Dundubi, so basically cattle drums were beating in the demigod. The celestial announcement was going on that this personality will be the cause of the Supreme Lord's arrival. So that was the celestial announcement of the demigods sharing that. And they were also beating kettle drums, which is Dundubi. So this talks about the different wives of Vasudeva Maharaj. Let's see who were their children. 46. Yes, Nandini Mataji, on to you.
Yes, Prabhu. Dandat Pranam devotee, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Balam Gadam Saranam Cha Durmadam Vipulam Dhruvam Vasudevastu Rohiniam Krutadina Dinudapayadat. Vasudeva, by the womb of his wife Rohini, begot sons such as Bala, Gada, Sharanga, Durmada, Vipula, Dhruva, Krita, and others. Back to you, Prabhu. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Kṛṣṇa. Thank you so much, Mataji. So when Vasudeva Maharaj was in the jail, she had entrusted Rohini and others under the care of Nanda Maharaj. So these are the children of Rohini. Okay, let's see who were the other wives and who were their children. 47 and 8. Would someone like to read these two verses? Sudhir Prabhu, want to read?
Sure, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna devotees, Dandat Pranam, all praise to Śrīla Prabhupada. Text number 47 and 48. Subhadro bhadrabhascha Durmado bhadra evacha Pauravyas tanaya heeta Bhutadya dvadasa bhavan Nando pananda kartaka Suradhya Madir Atmaja Kaushalya Kesinam Tva Ekam Asuta Kula Nandanam. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada Ki Jai. From the womb of Pauravi came 12 sons, including Bhuta, Subhadra, Bhadra Bahu, Durmada, and Bhadra. Nanda Upananda, Krataka, Sura, and others were born from the womb of Madira. Bhadra, Kaushalya gave birth to only one son named Keshi. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. You're in mute, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So Vasudev's first wife, we discussed Vasudev and Rohini. In this verse, we discussed about Vasudev and Pauravi, 12 sons. Vasudev and Madira, multiple sons. And Vasudev and Bhadra, named Keshi. Okay. So another name of Bhadra is actually Kaushalya, as mentioned in this verse. Bhadra is also Kaushalya. Okay, quite straightforward. There's no purpose. We'll keep moving. Text 49. Akshay, Prabhu, want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Rochanaya mato jata hasta heman gadadaya ilayam uruvalukhaden yadu mukyan ajit jetnat. Translation: Vasudev, by another of his wives, whose name was Lochana, begot Hasta, Hemangada, and other sons. And by his wife named Ila, he begot sons headed by Uruvalka, all of whom were chief personalities in the dynasty of Yadu. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. This one's talk about Vasudeva and Rochana and Vasudeva and Ila. Text 50. Anyone hasn't got a chance yet? Wants to read?
Can I read it?
Yes, Prabhu, please.
Hare Krishna. Text 50. Viparisto drita devam eka anaka dundubi shantin devatmajarajan prasama prasitadhyaha. Translation by Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. From the womb of Dhritadeva, one of the wife of Anaka Dundubi, Vasudev, came a son named Vipristha. The son of Shanita Deva, another wife of Vasudeva, were Prasama and Prasita and others. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Okay. The other two wives of Vasudev, their children are mentioned here. Let's see, text 51. Vijaya Mataji, want to read?
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Text 51. Rajanya kalpa varshadya upadeva suta dasha vashu hansa vanshadyaha Sri Devayastu Sata Sutaha. Translation. Vasudeva also had a wife named Upadeva, from whom came 10 sons headed by Rajanya, Kalpa, and Varsha. From Sri Deva, another wife came 6 sons, such as Vasu, Hamasa, and Survamsa. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Natasha. So we'll go a little quick here. So here Vasudeva and Upadeva, and Vasudeva and Śrī Deva, and their children. Practically, we see that Vasudeva had wives, many, close to 100 children here. Their names are mentioned, approximately 52. Devki Mataji, on TV. Okay, Sampada. Devki Mataji will read Devki's
Krishna,
verse.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Yes.
Deva Rakshitaya Labdha Navachatra Gadadaya Vasudeva Sutan Astava Adadi Sahadevaya. This translation. By the semen of Vasudev, in the womb of Deva Rakshita, 9 sons were born, headed by Gada. Vasudev, who was religious personified, also had a wife named Sahadeva, by whose womb he begot 8 sons, headed by Shruta and Pravara. Thank you, Prabhuji. Back to you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So, there are 2 wives of Srila Vasudeva Maharaj are shared here, the Sahadeva and Deva Rakshita. Prabhupada is quoting here, who was religion personified. That's a very big statement. That means he did not do anything irreligious. So one may say, well, looks like he's having children after children. This wife, 5 children, this wife, 10 children, this wife, 12 children, this wife, 8 children. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sri Thakur Bhaktivinoda Thakur, they mention one can have hundreds of children if one can make them Krishna conscious. That's Vasudeva Maharaj. And of course, the yoga is different. So we are not talking about the Kali Yoga. The yoga is also in the late Dwapar Yoga. So lifespan was different. I'm talking about Bhishma. I heard in the class that Bhishma lived close to 450 plus years. Bhishma Panchak is going on. So the lifespan was different. Even like Krishna, the Supreme Lord, was, as per the literal calculation, was about 120 years, 115, 20 years in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And he came much after Bhishma, we know that. Because Bhishma was the grandfather of Arjuna, and Arjuna and Krishna were kind of counterparts. So here we see the point is that Vasudeva, yes, he had hundreds of children, but he's religion personified. It's a very big statement. He was balam balavatam chaham kamaraga vivarjita dharma aviruddha bhuteshu kamosmi bharatashava. The sex life which is not contrary to the religious principles, Krishna says, I am that sex life. So let's see what happens further. 53, 55. Yes, Sampada, please.
Hare Krishna, text 53 to 55. Pravarashuta mukhyam scha saksha dharma vasun iva vasudeva sudevakyam astaputran ajijanat kirtimantam susenam cha bhadrasenam udaradhi arjum samartam nam bhadram
Sankarshana Maheshwaram. Astamastu Tayor Asit Swayam Eva Harikila Subhadra Cha Mahabhaga Davarajan Pitamahi. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada Vijay. The 8 sons born of Sahadeva, such as Pravara and Shruta, were exact incarnations of the 8 Vasus in the heavenly planets. Vasudeva also begot 8 highly qualified sons to the womb of Devaki. These included Kirtiman, Susena, Bhadrasena, Arju, Samardana, Bhadra, and Sankarshana, the controller and serpent incarnation. The 8th son was the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself, Krishna. The highly fortunate Subhadra, the one daughter, was your grandmother. Purport. The 55th verse says, Swayam Eva Harikila, indicating that Krishna, the 8th son of Devaki, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna is not an incarnation. Although there is no difference between the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, and his incarnation, Krishna is the original Supreme Person, the complete Godhead. Incarnations exhibit only a certain percentage of the potencies of Godhead. The complete Godhead is Krishna Himself, who appeared as the 8th son of Devaki. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhuji, back to you.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much for reading this wonderful verse. So, just to observe here, Shukdev Goswami is giving so much emphasis when Krishna's name came. So, other, pretty much in one verse, they're covering 2 wives and their children. But whenever the name of Krishna comes, or the Supreme, it's important to note, Swayam Eva Hari Kila. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself descended as the 8th son of Devaki. And we all know this pastime, that how they were the 8 Vasus, or the Shat Garbhas. The 8 incarnations. So they were kind of so Kamsa killed them, right? Kamsa killed them, and then Sankarshana was born, and then the Supreme Lord appeared. The 8th son was Krishna. The highly fortunate Subhadra, the one daughter, was your grandmother. Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, Maharani, we see in the altar. So grandmother, whose grandmother is referred here? Akshay?
Parikshit Maharaj, grandfather was Arjuna, and Arjuna's wife was Subhadra.
Good. Very good. And Subhadra was the sister of Krishna and Balaram, right? We all know that. Okay.
One small question, Prabhuji. In the previous, this came up in the previous. You said that this is Bhishma Panchak, right, Prabhuji? This is when Bhishma left his body, right, Prabhuji? And also, I heard that Bhishma waited for Uttarayana to come, but Uttarayana comes in like February times frame, right, Prabhuji? So, how should we understand this?
Haribol.
Yes.
Prabhu, I heard in Alachua temple a couple of years ago that this is not the time that Bhishma left, but this is Kartik. So it's like You know, if you go to Vrindavan, you will see in Adhik Mas, they will celebrate even Janmashtami in Adhik Mas. If some temple missed it or there was something going on, then what they will do in Adhik Mas, they will do that festival. So in that sense, Bhishma Panchaka is observed at the last 5 days, most auspicious days of the Kartik month. But actually, Bhagavad Gita was spoken on Gita Jayanti, which is going to happen in about 2-3 weeks. And then the Mahabharat war starts, and 18 days later, then after that also Bhishma Dev was lying on the arrows for a few days, and then Uttarayana started, Prabhu. Back to you. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so Bhishma Panchak is not the last 5 days of Bhishma Dev. Okay, Mataji.
No, but that's how we think about it like that, though, and that's how we celebrate it. Do you see the difference? Like, we still honor him in that way.
Okay, thank you. Mataji.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Dandavad.
Thank you, Mataji, for sharing that. Okay, one more verse we'll read today, very important verse. Let's study that one. Here now the dynasties of the king of Vasudeva has been shared. Now the reason why Lord Krishna appears. Let's study from text 56. Who hasn't got a chance today? Anyone left out? Okay, go for the next. We can start. Okay, so we go.
Hare Krishna, devotees, Dandavad Pranam, text number 56. Yada yada hi dharmasya kshayo viruddhascha papamana tadatu bhagavan isha atmanam srijate hari. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Whenever the principles of religion deteriorate and the principles of irreligion increase, the Supreme Controller, the Personality of Godhead, Sri Hari, appears by His own will. Translation: the principles by which an incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead descends upon earth are explained in this verse. The same principles are also explained in Bhagavad Gita 4.7 by the Lord Himself. Yada yada hi dharmasya gnanir bhavati bhavatata abhyattanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise in irreligion, at that time I descend myself. In the present age, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has appeared as Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu to inaugurate the Hare Kṛṣṇa movement. At the present time in Kali Yuga, people are extremely sinful and bad, manda. They have no idea of spiritual life and are misusing the benefits of the human form like cats and dogs. Under these circumstances, Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu has inaugurated the Hare Kṛṣṇa movement, which is non-different from Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If one associates with this movement, he directly associates with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. People should take advantage of the chanting of Hare Kṛṣṇa mantra and thus gain relief from all the problems created in this age of Kali. Hari Bol. Krishna Prabhuji, beautiful verse here. So, as we know that in Bhagavad Gita 4.7, Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya, similarly, we have very similar verse where Krishna is telling that whenever there is harmful to the religious practices, at that time he appears personally or in one of his incarnations, and he will set them right. So in the present age, we can see that Śrī Krishna himself, in the mode of Radharani, came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and started this Hare Kṛṣṇa movement. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inaugurated this Hare Kṛṣṇa movement to develop love and devotion to all the devotees, everyone. So if one associates, and we know that Srila Prabhupada also appeared around 50 years ago. Until 50 years ago we had, so he brought this movement and spread this movement all over the world. So just by taking Hare Krishna movement and just by singing, dancing, tasting prasadam and all, we can go back to Godhead. It is directly associated with Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Thank you, Prabhupada. Back to Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very nice. So we can all try to memorize this verse, not very different from the 4.7. Yada yada hi dharmasya. Its line is same as it is, verbatim. Glani. So instead of glani, a synonym of glani is used here. Shaya. Shaya means destruction, or glani is also means goes down. So whenever the dharma goes down, right, or deteriorates, yada yada hi dharmasya, glani or shaya. And what happens? Vriddhi. Vriddhis cha papam manaha. Vriddhi means increase. Vardhan, govardhan, vriddhi is increases what? Of sinful activities. Papa manaha. Tada tu bhagavan isha. Atmanam srijate. Srijami aham. So srijan. He descends. Harihi. Yada yada hi dharmasya shayo vriddhischa papa manaha. Tada tu bhagavanisha atmanam srijate harihi. So you can try to quite similar synonyms are used compared to 4.7. Lord will come. Again and again he will come. Whenever there is decline of religion and upbringing of irreligion, he will show his mercy through his books, through his name, through his direct forms like Chaitanya Mahāprabhu, through his devotees like Prabhupada, as Prabhupada mentioned so nicely, and through his pastimes, through his holy places, through his festivals like Damodar Leela, Narsimha Chaturdashi, Ramnavami. These are all the expansions, or not different from the Lord. They are all there to help us rekindle that love of God, to rekindle dharma and to destroy adharma. The books, especially now Gita Jayanti is coming. It's a great opportunity for all of us to be a part of this, to destroy the religion and to re-establish the religion by sharing more and more Bhagavad Gita with the world. Because Bhagavad Gita is the manual of life. And there's a very nice verse which I really like from the Maya Mugda Jiver Nahi Swata Krishna Gyan Jivera Kripaya Koila Krishna Veda Puran. The forgetful living entities are conditioned souls, or conditioned souls have forgotten their relationship with Krishna. And they are engrossed in thinking of material activities just to transfer their thinking power to the spiritual sky. Krishna, Dwapayan, Vyas has given a great number of literature. Maya Mugdha Jive Nahi Swatah Krishna Gyan. They have forgotten about Krishna. That means irreligion. They are taking to irreligion. Jivera Kripa Koila Krishna Vedpur. Out of the compassion, out of mercy for the jivas, Krishna is giving the different Veda Purans through Veda Vyasji, the compiler and of all the Vedas. So these are also not different from Krishna. We must take the best of our abilities and reach out to our friends, well-wishers, neighbors, co-workers, relatives, and inspire them also to read Gita, to give Gita, live Gita, give Gita, breathe Gita, talk Gita, walk Gita. And this will rekindle the dharma and uproot all the adharma. So that's why that's the main purpose of Krishna's descent. And then Krishna will be very happy with us, because Krishna says those who do so are very dear to my heart. There was no one ever more dear than him or her. There is not, and there never will be. So, any other thoughts or comments anyone has before we wrap up today? So we'll pause here. It's and we'll cover maybe the next 2-3 days. We have 3 more days of Kartik as per the Gaudiya Vaishnava calendar. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Today is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday is the last day of Kartik as per Gaudiya Vaishnava calendar. And I am quite positive that in 3 days we will be able to complete the remaining 10 verses which are left in this canto and chapter. And that will be a good segue. So thank you for your wonderful association. Shri Kartik Maas ki jai, Shri Damodar ki jai, Grantraj Bhagavatam Puran ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Dai Gaur Premanande Hari Bol. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyo Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo. Thank you. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.